Hi everyone, Aiden here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Kuat Sherpa on the back of our 2022 Hyundai Tucson. This is going to be a platform style bike rack, kind of in that mid to higher end range. It's definitely one that I like to use. It's going to have a 40-pound capacity per bike and hold our bike by the front tire primarily. That's going to mean zero frame contact, so it's going to be a good fit for our carbon frame bikes because we don't have to worry about damaging that frame, and alternative frame bikes because we're not worried about frame contact to get a good hold on the bike. With that 40-pound capacity, it's not going to be the best fit for e-bikes, but if you don't have e-bikes, that really doesn't matter. As long as you're within that 40-pound range, you're going to be all good. This holds the bikes exceptionally well. Everything is very solid and secure from the rack to the way it's holding the bike. It does also have a tilting feature. Like many other higher-end platform racks, that's one of the advantages, is that you can tilt it away with the bikes loaded using that pedal by the first tray. You can release it, lower it down, and then operate the back hatch. So this is great because we don't have to sacrifice any sort of function of our vehicle. I will say it's a little bit close on our handlebars here, but these are very wide handlebars, and we still have probably an inch or two of space. So I'd say for most bikes, this is going to be a perfectly fine fit. This lets us get things out of the back, or maybe just have a place to sit and change our shoes before or after our ride. It does sit a little close to the vehicle, so my big old shoes, it's hard to get them up in here, but it's definitely doable, and it's nice that we don't have to sacrifice that function. Getting this all put back together though, all you have to do when the back hatch is closed is lift it back into place. You can maybe see here a little bit that close fit with the handlebars, and then lifting it back in, that handle will snap into place and lock the rack in the driving position. Now on top of the second tray back here, we've also got a point where we can lock up our cable lock. That comes included with the bike rack. It's not built into the rack, but it is there to help with that security. We don't have ours installed right now, so we can actually get to unloading the bike, starting with this back wheel strap. This is our secondary point of contact. You can press that button and push the ratcheting strap out. And then for the hook up front, we've just got a button to push the hook up and out. Once that's all done, we can just lift the bike up and away, leaving everything nice and open. So that's the nice thing about this rack, is there's no center mass, there's nothing in our way to get the bike loaded up or taken off. That loading process is very quick. As you can see, it's easy to do by yourself. Getting that hook in place, you just push it down and then you get the strap. So I really like that because it just simplifies the whole process. You don't have to worry about this being a difficult rack to load or unload. Now, as I set this to the side, it's a good time to mention there are other color options. This is the gray version of the rack that we're using right now. You can get it in a pearl, which is a more white color, and black, so you can match it to your vehicle really nicely. I always like to replace this stuff when I'm done. You can see this back cradle pivots to accommodate for different wheelbases. And then now's a good time to get some measurements. We will start off with our ground clearance. As you can see, there's a good rise in the shank of the bike rack, bringing us up to about 20 inches of clearance at the back point here. I think that's more than enough room for most situations, and you shouldn't have to worry about bottoming out here. From the bumper to the outer edge of the rack, we're adding 30 inches. It does stick out a little bit more than some of the other racks we've worked with, but it's not bad. Definitely doable for most situations. Just keep in mind that it's back there. When bikes are unloaded though, we can come to that same pedal we did before to fold it upright. This is going to be a good storage position. If we want to leave it in the hitch between rides so it's ready to go for next time, we can. And it's only going to stick out about 12.5 inches to the end point right here. That's way more manageable for things like our garage or parking spots when we're leaving it around. One other bonus thing here is that when it's folded up, we don't block our license plate, our backup camera, or any of our tail lights. So we don't have to worry about blocking anything on our vehicle. It's not going to be obtrusive, and it doesn't stick out too far. I will say it does come close to the vehicle though. The closest point is probably right in the center here, coming in right at 2.5 inches of clearance. And that might not sound like a lot, but as I shake the rack back and forth, you can see this pivot point is solid. There's really no movement there at all, so I'm not worried about vehicle contact when it's stored up like this. It's actually kind of nice that it does sit so close. At the bottom, that furthest out point is actually our anti-rattle device. It's a tool-free knob that we can loosen or turn to tighten up. That's going to secure everything in the hitch and make sure that this rack doesn't move when we're driving around. Moving on in towards the hitch, it's working with our 2" by 2" receiver tube here, and the hitch pin that it comes with is a locking hitch pin, key to that lock that we saw up top earlier for the cable. Everything's under that same key system, so you don't have to worry about bringing multiple keys with you or forgetting things when you're not around. And it's really nice that it fits on the car so well. One thing I'd maybe compare it to is just the Rocky Mounts monorail. That one's going to be a very similar style, very similar price point, but it has that 60-pound capacity if you need it for e-bikes. If you don't need that capacity though, I would definitely go with this one. Its overall finish and build quality is much nicer. I think it's going to last a lot longer, and you get the color options to match it to your car. Thanks for watching.